Welcome back. Today, we're diving into an explainer on a truly high-stakes ancient drama from the Mahabharata Sambhava, divine pranks and royal feuds. We're unpacking a story that kicks off with a seemingly playful act by a god, but as these things often do, it rapidly spirals into a bitter, life-threatening feud between two incredibly powerful young women. It gives us this absolutely incredible window into the fragile egos and, frankly, the rigid social hierarchies of the ancient world.
So how exactly do we get from a gentle, divine breeze on a riverbank to a young woman being thrown down a dry well and left for dead? I mean, it sounds like the plot of a modern thriller, right? But the answer lies entirely in ancient class conflict. Let's see how this chaotic chain reaction actually begins.
Part 1. Mischief of the Gods. Our story starts when the deity Maghavat, fresh off a major celestial victory, decides to take a rather mischievous detour. He spots a group of maidens just sporting and playing in a tranquil lake, and instead of, continuing on his triumphant way, he decides to have a little fun. So he physically transforms himself into the wind. Blowing across the bank, he completely tangles up the clothes the maidens had left behind, turning them into this inseparable heap. Minutes later, the maidens exit the water. Naturally, they're in a total rush to get dressed, so they hastily grab for their garments from this newly intermingled pile.
Part 2. A royal wardrobe mix-up.
Now, a wardrobe mix-up might sound like a minor inconvenience to us, but in a society where your garments literally broadcast your status, your family, and your class, wearing the wrong clothes is a huge deal. Out of pure ignorance in the rush on the riverbank, Sarmishtha, who happens to be the daughter of the powerful Asura king, accidentally appropriates the garments belonging to Devayani. Now, Devayani is the daughter of Sukra, a highly revered Brahmana priest. We're talking about a guy with the magical power to actually resurrect the dead. So you suddenly have royal political power accidentally walking off with spiritual magical powers clothes. And let me tell you, neither of these women is willing to back down from what they perceive as an unforgivable slight.
Part 3. The bitter class dispute.
As soon as Devayani realizes the king's daughter has her clothes, an intense, fiery dispute erupts, because it isn't just about the fabric, it's about what the fabric represents. Devayani strikes first. She demands to know why Sarmishtha, whom she views as a mere spiritual disciple, would dare take her attire, cursing her as being totally destitute of good behavior. But Sarmishtha's retort? Absolutely devastating. She completely dismisses the spiritual high ground, ruthlessly reminding Devayani that her priest father sits on a lower seat, basically acting like a subservient, hired chanter of praises for the king. Sarmishtha proudly declares that her royal family gives the alms, while Devayani's family are merely beggars who accept them. She coldly states that she doesn't reckon the priest's daughter as her equal. Ouch! Well, things escalate from a war of words to attempted murder in a flash. Hearing her father called a mere hired beggar, Devayani becomes exceedingly angry and physically yanks at her clothes to get them back. Sarmishtha, driven by intense wrath and royal pride, just overpowers her and shoves Devayani straight into a nearby dry well. Believing the priest's daughter is literally dead, the wicked Sarmishtha turns her back and walks homeward in a wrathful mood without a second thought.
Part 4. Rescue by King Yayati.
Just when things look utterly bleak for Devayani, she's trapped in the dark, covered with creepers, King Yayati arrives. Fatigued and desperately thirsty from a long hunt, he approaches the well hoping for water. But instead, looking down into the overgrown pit, he is absolutely stunned to find a maiden shining like a blazing fire. Seeing her deep distress, he speaks soothingly to her, asking how in the world she fell down there. Devayani reveals she's the daughter of the great priest, and, noting Yayati's good birth and gentle behavior, she asks for his help. Learning she's a Brahmana's daughter, the king respectfully catches hold of her right hand, pulls her safely out of the pit, and courteously returns to his capital.
Part 5. The Father's Immense Pride.
Thoroughly humiliated, Devayani absolutely refuses to return to the city. Instead, she sends her maid to fetch her father. When Sukra rushes to the woods, he finds Devayani physically safe, sure, but emotionally shattered. She repeats Sarmishtha's cruel insults word for word. Really hath she said that thou art only the hired chanter of the praises of the Asura king. She basically tells her father that if she is truly just the daughter of a beggar who accepts charities, well, she must go and beg for Sarmishtha's grace. It's a direct, heartbreaking challenge to her father's dignity.
But Sukra is having none of it. He fires back with immense pride, firmly rejecting the notion that he's merely a subservient hired hand to the royalty. He declares, "Thou art the daughter of one that adores none, but of one that is adored by all." He assures Devayani that the Asura king, the gods, and even King Yayati all know this to be the undeniable truth. He is a fundamental spiritual pillar that the state relies upon, definitely not an employee waiting for a handout.
And then, he explicitly flexes his cosmic resume, reminding her that his power comes directly from the divine, unopposable Godhead. He tells her, "It is I who pour rain for the good of creatures, and who nourish the annual plants that sustain all living things." Sukra is basically asserting that his spiritual power literally keeps the natural world functioning. It's a magnificent way to replace her feelings of social inferiority with a profound sense of immense, cosmic importance.
This entire dynamic clash leaves us with such a fascinating power struggle to ponder. A divine prank fueled a friction between political wealth and spiritual authority, leading straight to an attempted murder. Yes, Sarmishtha had the physical power and the royal wealth to throw Devayani into a well. But Sukra, the priest, claims the cosmic power that brings the rain and sustains life itself. So looking at the ancient world, when push comes to shove, who truly holds the ultimate power? Is it the royalty sitting on the throne, or the spiritual guides who claim to command the cosmos? Think about that for a bit.